Hey guys, welcome back. And today I wanted to go over something which is, I originally saw it on a channel called Imagination and Faith. And I don't know what happened to the channel because they used to have a lot of really good videos about Neville. And they were excerpts and they really picked really good ones. Since they've deleted all those videos and now they post random videos of them like playing video games or going on drives, and that's besides the point, but that's where I originally saw this, and I was reminded of this, and so I was searched for it, and I actually found a Reddit post that discusses this. And this is the concept of proceeding from the desired state. Now, I will leave a link to the Reddit post in the description, but this is it. He says, there are an infinite number of states: the state of health, the state of sickness, the state of wealth, the state of poverty, the state of being known, the state of being unknown. All are only states, and everyone is always in a state. So a state is your present sense of self. Those are Neville's words. How you see yourself, how you see the world, your assumptions, and we are always in a state. If you were to stop now and review your current state, what would you be? Does it align to the life you want? Is it putting yourself in the position that you wish to be in? Your inner conversations will quickly identify the state you are in. We all have one state in which we are very comfortable, so we return to it moment after moment. That state constitutes our dwelling place. And the author of this says, I love this piece. Our dwelling place is what you receive in life. This is why some say they have negative feelings or doubts, but still manifest what they want. Their dwelling place, the state they most often return, is their true belief and is not the doubts. The state they most often return, their true beliefs isn't the doubts, so that is what they receive. Right. He's talking about those that achieve what they want. It's not, their dwelling place is not really in the place of doubts. So for others, they dwell most often in doubt, lack of self-worth, self-image being down in the dumps, so that is what they receive. The best part, though, is that your state is all mental. There is not a single circumstance on the outside that can prevent you from being the person you want to be. Seriously, not one. Not another person's belief system, not your lack of degree, not you being too ugly, not a single thing. You must mentally adjust your thoughts to proceed from the desired state, all within yourself. You fell into your present state either deliberately or unwittingly, and because you are, its life. The state became alive and grew like a tree, bearing its fruit which you do not like. Its fruit may be that of poverty or distress, heartache or pain. There are all kinds of unlovely fruit, but you can detach yourself from the unlovely harvest by making an adjustment in your human imagination. And the author of this post says, how can you read that and not feel overwhelming joy and gratitude bubble up inside you? You bring to life what you pay attention to. So put your attention elsewhere and bring to life a new state. Really quickly, well, let's continue on. I have something that I want to add to this. So ask yourself what you would like to harvest. When you know what it is, ask yourself, how would you feel if your desire was ready to harvest right now? When you know the feeling, try to catch it. In my own case, I find it easier to catch the feeling by imagining I am with people I know well, and they are seeing me as if they would if my desire were now a fact. When the feeling of reality possesses me, I fall asleep in that assumption. At that moment, I have entered a state. Now I must make that state as natural as I have made my present state. I must consciously return to my new state constantly. I must feel its naturalness like my own bed at night. At first, the new state seems unnatural, like wearing a new suit or hat. Although no one knows your suit is new, you are so conscious of it, you think everyone is looking at you. You are aware of its fit and its feeling until it becomes comfortable. So it is with your new state. At first you are conscious of its strangeness, but with regular wearing, The new state becomes more comfortable, and its naturalness causes you to constantly return to it, thereby making it real. Harvest means bring to life. What do you want? What do you want to be? If you were the ideal you living your ideal life, what would that look like? Notice he says it'll feel unnatural. Keep persisting until it feels natural. I can't explain the feeling, but it just does. It's a calm feeling, and you will know. You can't ask anyone else if you were there, because only you would know. Now, most of us knowing what we want, and this is the final point here. Most of us knowing what we want, construct it in our mind's eye, but never occupy it. We never move into the state and remain there. I call this perpetual construction, deferred occupancy. I could dream of owning a lovely home and hope to go there one day, but if I do not occupy it now, in my imagination, I postpone it to another day. I may wish my friend has a better job. I may have imagined him having it. But if I do not occupy that state by believing he is already there, I have merely constructed the state for him, but not occupied it. All day long, I can wish he or she were different, but if I don't go into the state and view him from it, I don't occupy the state, so he remains in the unlovely state relative to me. This is the world in which we live. The final point he says is anytime someone asks why something didn't work, the above quote holds the answer. Occupy the state. Persist in making your state feel natural, and you'll naturally hold that feeling into the day. You can be what you want to be if you know and apply this principle, but you are the operant power. It does not operate itself. You may know the law from A to Z, but knowledge is not enough. Knowledge must be acted upon. Go put it into practice. So, yeah, there's it's kind of like, I really like that because it's just, it really is just, the author of the post is going to describe this concept of proceeding from the desired state in more modern language. And there's a lot of people in the Reddit comments that actually are like, oh, thank you for, picking this quote out or picking these passages out and this post, because this really makes it easier to understand. As far as the dwelling place goes, you notice, I'm sure if you're online enough, you see that there are people where all they do, no matter what they're doing online, whether they might be making content, more often than not, they're probably just in the comments, hanging out in the comments. They call them keyboard warriors or armchair critics or haters. But all they do is basically pass judgments on other people. Basically, they have something negative to say about what somebody else has done or what somebody else is doing. And that is the full culmination of whatever it is that they have to offer, is just passing judgment. And you can see this in real life as well. There's certain people, you've got your classic nosy neighbors, or the people, across the street, where all they do is, give their neighbors the stink eye or whatever. They call the city because they're complaining about this, or you did this. And it's just that type of, those types of people. I guess the easiest way you could say it in modern terminology is just like haters or judgy people. What state do they really occupy? Why are those behaviors? Why is that the only kind of behaviors that you see these people exemplify? And it's because they're occupying a state which is largely probably based in fear. It is based in them being, they don't have anything to offer. So they are in a state of judgment of others because they're lacking this generative energy, this energy that seeks to express itself, that is a creative energy. I would call this the source energy, but whatever makes sense to you, they don't have it, or they feel they don't possess that energy. So all that they can do is down talk and bash other people and judge other people for what they are creating, because they're not offering anything. And there's a lot of different states. There's an infinite number of states, as he says. The point that he makes about your friend is interesting to me, because I actually have manifested things for my friends. I've had friends where I've even helped them write a letter to their prospective employer, or I've imagined them getting a good job, or I've imagined them and then they got the job. a job that they were desiring, or I've imagined them in certain situations and giving me good news, because that's another thing that Neville talks about, imagining things for other people. And I forget where else he mentioned that, but I remember that specifically. Imagine your friend coming to you with good news about this just happened. I just got hired for this. I just got a promotion. And I've literally gotten my friends promotions or pay raises from doing stuff like this. And yeah, that the idea of proceeding from a state is an awesome idea. And it's I think a very like central, in terms of application from Neville Goddard's teachings. It's something that you can jump into right away and apply. And I actually made a few what I call the state recipes. Let me know if you guys are interested. I can share those on the channel. But essentially, they are meditative exercises where you go into a state. I made one for popularity, being the state of being popular. I made one for the state of being in a beautiful, committed relationship. And I made another one about it being a state of feeling youthful energy, and like a state of high energy and a state of youthful exuberance or vibrance. Those kinds of things, when I've done them, it's like you go through this process. I guide myself through a process that I've already written down, and I go through the steps. And it's impossible to come out from those situations without kind of that sense of relief if you really go into them, because I really give myself a scene. I give myself all the instructions within that in order to fulfill that feeling and really proceed from that state. It's like you carry out that kind of energy into the rest of your day. And it's pretty good. It's a pretty cool exercise to do. Let's see here. So this is like one of the most liked comments on this thread, and this is a pretty popular thread, not crazy popular, but within the sphere of Neville Goddard, I would guess that this is pretty popular. So he says, being in this state is you accepting the wish fulfilled, feeling the reality of it. Your state of being now changes. Imagine a state of being ugly and attractive and changing it to being wanted and attractive. After you feel it real and accept it, you go on with your life. Wash the dishes, take the dogs to the park, have a drink with your friends. If something happens which is in contradiction to the state, revise it and do sats again. That is the state akin to sleep. Again, until you feel and believe you are who you want to be. If you do it before and after going to sleep / waking up, it will have more effect on your subconscious mind, hence making it easier for you to accept the reality of the fulfillment of your wish. The first time I read about being in the state, I thought you should try to force yourself to feel it 24/7. The important thing is to notice when you're out of your desired state and go back to it ASAP. That's it. It's really simple. And there you go. That is pretty much, it's very much in line with what I just said, of what I've kind of given myself as a little exercise. It's like you do the exercise, and then you go on about the rest of your day. And you just notice when you're starting to have these thoughts that are conflicting, or you're starting to slip into the other state, or a state that is undesirable. Neville uses all this other fancy kind of, outdated language now. He's talking about the harvest and all this, but the bare bones and nuts and bolts of it all is just getting back into the state and nudging yourself back in, not beating yourself up about it, not judging yourself for it, and not making it a big deal where you need to like hammer it home 24/7 and do these affirmations all day long. Like, you can, if that's what makes you feel good and that's what makes you feel like you're in the state. But more often than not, if you were in the state of feeling, like he says, attractive and in the example, wanted and attractive, that's a great state to feel, right? You are wanted, you are desired, you are attractive. You're not going to have to say to yourself, like, over and over throughout the day, I'm wanted, I'm desired. I mean, you can. And actually, maybe some people would, maybe some people do. I know, like, a lot of if you listen to like rappers like Nicki Minaj and some of these people, like, they are always talking about how awesome they are. Like, they always are just reinforcing that. And so maybe that shit, maybe that I mean, regardless of how you do it, they're getting into the state. They're reinforcing their own state by saying that to themselves, by recording music about it, by putting it out into the world. And if you want to embody the state, you can't be like double-minded and switching back and forth about it. You really just have to shift into it, and that's the best way to do it. Anyways, guys, I appreciate you guys watching and being here for the video. Please, if it's just give this video a like and subscribe if it's the first time that you're seeing this. It'll help me out a lot. You don't have to do it, but it would really be helpful. Also, if there's anything that this made you think of or anything else that you had to add and that you thought was useful as far as getting into a state, let me know in the comments. And yeah, appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you guys next time.